That'd be good. But,
Oh, you might have COVID.
I'm pending a test, but
Oh no.
my son, who I've caught it from, has tested negative 3 times, so I'm not overly concerned. But hey, you never know your luck, huh?
Good luck.
Spicy cough.
Anywho, what happened last week?
No idea.
While
We
ago,
did some exploring. We met the big pussycat.
Well,
He, she, they, them said, nah, Bob, now's not the time.
Get out of here.
You
Get
should
out.
back up a bit. So Bob spread the word to the team and quickly buggered off as fast as he could, leaving them there. Then Iris and Bob staked out the old texture in the wall for a while everyone went home to bed.
Seamlessly integrated texture.
this one?
Sorry.
That was tricky to...
Right.
What one? I can't.
Alexa's a sprite, isn't it?
I drew some
Yes.
lines on it to make it matching.
That's right. I need to get
Yeah, I
the sprite
can't.
stuff
I
up
can't
too.
see any difference.
Yeah. I do drawing for a living, so
Good job.
that's why it's so perfect.
Iris and Bob hid up in a tree and had a big long talk about how to turn invisible. And then we waited, and then we waited, and then we waited, and then we went, fuck it. Went back home. Bob went to bed. Iris did not. Then some crabs showed up.
Graham went for a dip by the look of things.
Then
Yeah,
Ramrod
that's right.
killed virtually everything.
Good bunny.
And then in the morning, or towards the morning, Bob had a chat with Jafar, got told some stuff, worked out how to use a bit of magic, missed his dog, so he summoned up a friend. Alexa came. He told Alexa to go and stake out the thing while we were going to work out what we're going to do to try and work out where to go. And before we headed off, Alexa came back and said, shit's going down. And then we came here.
Shit's going down and your parcel will be delivered tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Then we came here. We saw a shaman throw a frog at the wall. And we figure that must be the key. So Zom's going to turn into a frog and we're going to throw him at the wall.
What, to open a door?
Yeah.
Cool.
And we were going to rip him in half and then throw him at the.
I believe that was what was decided, yes.
Then we get 2 shots at it, right?
Right. What's? Oh, I was just about to ask what that.
Me too.
I'm just building stuff. All right, there's Alexa for you to control. Bob, you should be able to control that.
So she was sort of over here so I could watch.
And she's currently invisible from memory.
Yep.
So she's someone you should be able to pull out a compendium now as well, whenever you want to do it. Provided I've set that up correctly. You should also be able to edit a photo if you wish to as well.
Stat blocks.
It's
So
just
strong.
taken from the bestiary, so it should be all right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much well it, as far as I understand.
I think you've summarised last week's events pretty accurately. The
You
only thing
made
you
it.
missed, the only thing you missed was a very, very low tide, which enabled the guys to sort of down where Graham is as well. The yellow lines there being the it's here. Hey, hey, hey. Ian looks cold and stoically silent.
Very unresponsive. Yes.
He looks frozen even.
Hey.
There he is. Movement.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Right, man?
How you doing?
Fucking cold.
Yeah,
You look cold.
What?
very.
You're Canadian. You
lying,
should be
though.
fine.
That's racist.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the go?
You've literally just recapped. We had a discussion about last week's session. Lexia is now being that exists.
Sorry?
And-
Sorry, what's a being that exists?
Alexia.
Alexa.
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 Okay.
Alexa. Bob Sprite, which is hovering here. And we were just about to start, so take it away.
So was Zon? Were we actually going to do this? Was Zon going to change into a?
I'm trying to remember. Had we left it where something had happened that made it obvious that they sort of had cottoned on that something was here? Was there like a iris
don't-
stealth check fail or something? No, what was it?
No, I don't think anyone. There's only the one stealth check so far, and that was
Yes.
Graham making a run to here, which he succeeded on. Shaman
Felt
guy
pretty safe.
sort of milling about, sort of poking at the wall.
And these guys here are all. These guys there are
Just
all.
hang on 1 second. I'm getting summoned by a child. Have a think about what you're doing. What's wrong, mate?
I think the problem is thinking about what we're doing requires input from DM.
Fireball.
Do you think
Fine.
Eddie
Always
just draw,
viable.
do you think in order to summon Simon that Eddie just draws like a little pentagram on the ground and just waits?
Might be in the meditation then.
He has to stand in a circle assault though to protect him from Dad's wrath.
Boy,
You
if
see
you
that
knew,
the,
boy, if I weren't allergic to this salt.
you see the slipper from Mum flying across the room at the head, and it just hovers in the salt circle, stuck.
Alright,
You
sorry about that.
Not
Just,
pass.
We've realised that guided meditations at bedtime can be a good procrastination tool. Anyway,
I already knew that.
so where
Not
we're up to.
just loading up Peppa Pig on YouTube on a tablet and sticking him in front of it.
Oh no, then that keeps them awake.
No,
No.
no.
Gotta get them to like just listen to calming music. Well, meditation, yeah. And if you can sit in there for a short while with them, it calms them right down.
Yeah.
Just before any potential battle breaks out, these cliffs are now dudes up on the top. How tall are we talking on those cliffs?
Those cliffs are. I'm gonna
For
say
range references.
they're probably about 100 feet up.
100 feet. All right.
So that means that they can't reach us either.
30 meters.
Suckers.
Okay, so we want to take these guys out before we turn people into frogs and throw them at walls.
Sounds reasonable.
Sounds very reasonable.
You're thinking of just attacking.
Hey, DM.
Oh.
Do they look humanoid to me? Like humanoid creatures?
They are small humanoid, yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Are they lizards?
They are lizardy, but not lizards.
Okay.
Lizard-esque.
So lizardy.
I'm trying to remember. So if I'm still watching through Alexa, I can't hear what you guys are saying. Is that right?
Correct.
So this guy's gonna the guy who did the ritual. He's sort of stepping out to here now,
Okay.
berating. Well, you can see him. all of these guys here, the 4 city folk, Nookabolds who are standing there.
Well, Zom,
They're
I
sort of just
mean,
like,
so far all these no kobolds that we've come across have not been friendly, and I'm going to do whatever I can to protect us and help us to get off this island. So I think attacking is what we've got to do.
Look, as much
these
as
guys start fanning out.
As much as I like to try and settle things peacefully, I think I agree.
1 second.
We're under attack.
The dog's playing with the meditation app.
Thought it was a giant cat.
Meditation accidentally has like really high frequencies.
A 9-foot-tall Yorkshire Terrier charges the party. Yeah, these guys are spreading out.
Yeah, they're moving.
Should we
All right.
Yeah, can I cast a spiritual weapon over the top of them before we, as a surprise thingo?
can we hang on? Can we just pause the action? Let's like.
Don't know we can.
These
We've got
lizard guys are sort of looking around.
time to have a conversation very quickly, don't we?
You can have a conversation quickly.
Graham's just going to pick up. Are there any little stones around where he's at?
Yeah, because this is like
This is like a bit of beach, some
retreated
pebbles.
water. Yeah, there's like shells and pebbles and all kinds of stuff around.
Graham's going to just pick one up and try and throw it in that type of direction. Maybe not that far. Maybe like around in this direction, kind of,
Yeah, you can.
as a distraction.
Sploop.
And as you throw it, it hits a bit of a sandy spot. This guy here looks up.
I would like to do something, DM, if that's
Guys
all
all
right,
sort of-
after this.
yeah. And these guys were coming towards you, but now they're sort of back this way.
I would like to use prestidigitation to make a shower of sparks start to appear in like a circular form along the wall that I had identified as partially magical.
Yep.
The bit that we can't see. This
Got
bit.
got range on it.
I believe it is 30 feet, but because I'm using a Mac, it's hard for me to navigate here. It is. Never mind. Don't worry about that. That's not going to happen.
Mhm.
I don't do that at all. But what I do
Do.
is I raise my hand and I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast at one of these things.
Can Zom also cast something before battle is initiated?
As Iris raises her hand, Zom, you
Oh,
notice.
I'm not going to do it immediately because I would never instigate a fight where I was outnumbered and at the front. So I'm sticking my hand out, waiting for it to happen, waiting for someone to loose the first arrow.
I would do that.
Zom would like to cast Fairy Fire on the shaman.
Don't look, Alexa.
Fairy fire. Has that got what range is fairy fire?
60 feet.
You got range on that?
But sure, that should be right. Oh, jeez.
Creature
Just-
in the area. Okay.
12 spell save.
So you're casting it on him,
On him.
the center of it. I'm gonna draw the 20-foot cube to where you want it to sort of be there from.
20 foot would be. Oh, that's quite big actually, isn't it? So there. Is that right? Yeah, you can't see that yet.
So he fails the save.
It's like there or something.
Yep. 20
Big
foot
20
cube.
feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not radius.
It's 20.
Oh, 20 foot cube. Sorry. Yeah, it's not radius.
That's 40 foot.
Yeah. So it would actually be there, I think. No, it wouldn't even be there. It would be half that again. Not half again, but it'd be about there. Oh, cheers.
He starts shimmering, and you see him. He looks at his hands and he notices the shimmer. He sort of looks up to the sky. And he turns back to the wall.
Is that
At the
where?
same time,
Oh,
I just want to. Graham wants to cradle the small frog, just around here.
This guy sees it. Sound. Oh, if you create a sound, create an image, it must be larger. The image can't create sound, light, smell, or any other. Reveals it to be an illusion because things can pass through it.
Yeah.
Having the sound. Having is an illusion against a spell save DC. So this guy here, he sees the frog. He steps towards it. And
When he
re-
comes within range, that's when I throw one of my spears at him.
he
Spear? Yeah, one of my
he
spears.
sort of bends down to look at it. As he looks up, he sees your spear. The sorcerer is too busy focusing on the fairy fire around him. These guys all see where this one is pointing, and they see you there now, Graham. They are unaware of the rest of you, however. And at that point, we'll roll for initiative of the people who.
okay.
Probably for the best.
Maybe go with
Guys
the first one.
Top.
Seeing the shit go down, Bob's snapping back out of Alexa, looking through his own eyes again.
Does
The
Alexa remain?
Alexa,
Alexa remains there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
oh look at that.
The sorcerer. Oh, that's not right. Where are we?
Technically, I can even.
Should that square be moved?
Alexa goes first.
Oh.
She gets her own initiative turn.
Apparently. Think so.
Of the chain? Is that packed chain? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Didn't realise. Fairy
In
fire
combat,
is
it
pleased.
rolls its own initiative and acts on its own turn.
Very too quiet, Phil.
Not too quiet.
Oh, for me anyway.
Oh, I did actually turn myself down.
Not that I'm planning on having a fight. I just wanted to move away and get out of it.
It can't attack, but it can take other actions. It's normal.
But I get a short bow. Pew.
It can't attack. So
I did, but I didn't really select it. I'm just telling her to get back, get out of danger.
You-
Mentally.
You've taken your for it.
Oh yeah.
First one there. Then
So do we get a nice surprise attack on?
hang on a sec.
Yep.
She doesn't
How-
really need to be an initiative unless you're planning on trying to detect her and hunt her
Well,
down.
you can. She can't attack, but she can do other things. She has other things she can do. So, is Alexa? Graham, you can throw your spear to start with. Iris, you can
Alright.
fire your firebolt. Your Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast, Firebolt.
And
What the?
Zom, you can do your attack as well.
Right.
Does 19 hit?
Which one are you aiming for?
The one's close to me.
Yes.
Oh, that didn't actually cast it. Hold on.
Yeah, I've only got one spear.
Pushed over.
Not anymore.
Turns to see, and it's pointing, calling for something. As you throw a spear, and it doesn't even notice the spear coming. It rips a gory chunk off of it, but it's still standing. 15, 17 for you hits, Iris.
Let me just see. Is that adding? It's adding bless. I'm not blessed.
Okay,
I'll take that off. So just a 15.
15 hits.
Nice.
Which one are you hitting? This one?
I am hitting the big guy. 3 points of
This
damage.
guy here.
Yeah.
So he's still looking to the sky, and it just feels this immediate pain and like its side. If it has been touched by some powers yet undefined by it, and it continues to beseech whatever it is trying to beseech, and that's going to be its turn. Now, that's your turn done as well, Iris.
It also pushes him 10 feet.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't realize you were casting a thing.
Yep.
God damn it.
Now, is this a surprise round, or is this a...
So it's a surprise round,
Cool. Good to know.
except for these guys, because they...
What do you mean, except for them?
Let me read what a surprise round is.
Didn't
Basically,
they get surprised because Graham attacked from hiding?
So
Or
a surprise
attacked by his
round-
Frog?
surprise round, as it is, as I understand it, is the people who are attacking basically get an entire turn, where the people being attacked do not have a turn,
6 seconds of confusion, basically.
effectively.
Okay, yes, I will...
Kind of like Phil right now. I'm suffering 6 seconds of confusion.
Alright, 6 seconds of
hate when
confusion
that
begins
happens.
now.
hello. It caused me at least 6 seconds of confusion.
Just wait until the butter knife sinks into the ribs.
Alright, so yes, it is a surprise round for you guys. So Iris, does your Eldritch Blast count as your surprise attack then?
Oh, it counts as yeah.
Do you want to do anything else?
I'll
Drag him back.
I'll move to here, and then obviously because I've cast a thing, I'm no longer invisible.
I'll just be a couple of minutes.
Yep.
Graham, so you've thrown your spear. Would be your attack, but you're able to move still or do a bonus action if you wish.
I don't think I can get it. Oh, hang on.
It's a bonus action that
wasn't
we've
ready for that.
discussed.
Yeah,
Bonus action we've discussed you could do.
yeah, but I really want to. This doesn't feel right. Yeah.
You do it.
Okay. Well. I'll go. Gonna do it with the DC stone.
Sorry, say that again.
I'll
Gonna
just send you.
the DC stone.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Nothing immediately that you know happens.
Okay.
Alright. They're going to skip their turn for a surprise. Bob.
Okay. So you're gonna, I don't know. Have I snapped out before the round starts, or do you want to skip me for this round? For while I change out of Alexa back to me. I'm happy to
Is
go.
that an action? Is that an
Hence the
action?
question. I don't know.
Oh, hang
You
on.
just like snapping out of her eyes back into yours. Would it take you 6 seconds to reorientate yourself?
It's probably it's reading find familiar spell. Doesn't say, so I don't saying it's a
No, doesn't say. That's why I'm
Yeah.
happy to play it either way.
Additionally, just reading here, Pact of the Chain, you can forego attack in place of Alexa's attack.
Yeah. And later I can attack through her. Oh, ha 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 ha. But okay, if I have a go, I'm going to shuffle over to about here to have a look at what I'm doing. And I am going to Spike Grove.
You.
Oh.
Where are you going to spike growth?
How does the fucking circle work?
Oh.
20-foot radius. How big is the bastard? Yeah, that's about 20 feet. And put it where I want it now. How do I do that?
Select and
Ah,
Sorry.
so if I select it, do I have to click on the line to move it?
you should just, if you draw a box around it, you'll be able to select it. And then,
Then I have to change to select move, and then no.
oh, if you've got select move on, like the pointer, select move, you just drag a box around it.
Ah,
You got it.
That's where you're going to pop it up.
basically, yeah.
Azratan had that for a very long time. He used it once or twice.
And like the sand hardens in the area where you've cast it, and you see it just take like crystalline forms. It spikes up into these huge spikes. So they're gonna take when a creature moves into the area. They don't get damage to start with, do they?
No, I think they have to move, or if they're forced to move, they take damage. If they stand
okay.
still, they're okay.
They're standing still, and you hear them going.
I think 1 act means yes, and 2 acts means no.
What about 7?
It's probably no 3 times and then a yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the
Okay,
word for car is
yeah.
like 17 acts.
So the shaman doesn't see the spikes and has to do a DC 15 wisdom save to notice it, or else he'll just walk into it. We are learning.
Yes, the shaman didn't notice it. He's still there. So Sorry, I'm just whispering something to people here.
Ooh, whispers. Secret whispers. To who? To who?
Oh yes, I've used all those small twigs that I've been carrying around, sharpened to a point.
Good. Cool. Yep. Along these lines. You hear it along these lines in this tone. Alright, so spike growth is done. Zom.
Just quickly, is this area here sort of a choke point? Is there-
Not really.
They can get around the trees and stuff?
Yeah, you can get underneath them and stuff, yeah.
Right, so the shaman's not exactly trapped there. I'm going to cast. I would like to cast this using the staff on the shaman. Oh, actually, I probably need to move closer. I'll move.
Is fairy fire concentration?
It doesn't really matter. Fairy fire can disappear. I thought fairy fire was going to be concentrated on a person, but
Fairy
I
fire
did
is
it's
concentration, so
concentrated
it disappears.
yeah, but it's also concentrated in an area. Yeah, so I'll cast that at level 5. Needs a DC 12 Constitution save. Oh, sorry, this is on the shaman. Hang on.
On the
So
shaman.
this would be, yeah. So, was it 20 foot again? Yeah, so something like that.
It's a constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
So 13 saves.
So he takes half.
15 points of damage.
Oof.
Yep.
And he sort of see him stop and he's like trying to swat these things off. But that doesn't remain, does it? It drops at the start of the next turn from memory. The fungal staff?
It does say concentration up to 10 minutes. Oh, but it's fungal
No,
staff.
but like we've spoken about,
yeah.
because it's the fungal staff.
Yes, I believe you might be correct. Yes, it's instantaneous. Oh, so much to do. So much to read with this.
Get used to it. Right, anything else you'd like to do?
I don't believe there's anything else I can do just at the moment. No. That will be enough.
Ramrod.
Let's hear that. Let's hear that new canon voice.
I don't even know what the canon voice is.
You mean you didn't watch the 3-hour session?
I haven't downloaded it yet.
Jesus. What are we doing this for?
Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to cast Bless for these 3. Submit. These 3 nearby.
Activate your bless.
Activate your
I
Bless.
guess I'm
Consider yourself.
turning Bless back on.
Consider yourself blessed. Blessed.
Which tree was that? Me or?
Yes.
Ooh.
Hashtag blessed.
Plus 1d4.
Okay, and then what have we got? 30. If we go to
Watch out
here.
for the spikes, Ramrod, as he runs
25.
past.
What spikes? Oh, that's what that is. As I'm running across the beach, I'll just yell out to these guys. I'll get their attention and keep them occupied, and you hit them. And I'm going to do rabbit hop just for fun because I'm a rabbit. So I've still got 5 feet of movement left, which means I can use my hop. I can jump equal to 5 times my proficiency, which is to
Let's hop to it.
10 feet, which is nothing, but it's for show. So I'm heading towards these guys over here. And I'll bang my hammer on my shield a bit just to make some noise, get their attention.
You want it? Did you said you were going to cast spiritual weapon earlier, didn't you?
I did, but that got overlooked and passed, and we're past that.
Or did you want to
No.
summon your shovel?
No, I can't do that. No, that's a spell. I've already done bless.
All right.
It's all good. That'll do. Just making noise.
To the start. Alexa, would you like to forego your action to make Alexa attack?
Are you muted? Or is your beard muffling your voice?
I'm muted. I just said no, Alexa's just flying away to safety. I said, look out, get out of there. It's dangerous. All done.
Now the insect. I'm just trying to find your fungal staff. Is it on your character sheet? It is, isn't it? That spell dropped is the thing I'm trying to.
Drop on the round, or does it drop on Zom's turn?
Yeah, that's just sort of what I find out. Duration becomes 1 round, ending at the end of your next turn, and do not require concentration.
What was this
Still
for?
in.
Oh, that
Stuff.
fairy fire still up.
Also, if I'm reading this correctly, I think the fungal staff has to actually be used because the insect plague is actually a bonus action after the mushrooms, the ground growth mushrooms. I think they might have to be used in conjunction, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, like that's the thing we spoke about last time. How you have to do your mushrooms.
I don't think I can expend just a bonus action charge, with the fog cloud or the insect.
No.
plague or
In addition, while holding the staff, you can expend 1 or more charges to cast the following. The spells are cast. You have to do the mushrooms.
Yeah,
That's like the focus of the spells. So, do you want to do the mushrooms now?
may as well.
Where do you want to do them?
Well, it'd be the same spot.
Same square. So,
Yeah.
creature moves into or within a space or area with these mushrooms. Takes 2. So he's probably.
Might do them over slightly, actually. I'll do them sort of more there.
Just see what he can do from here.
I popped out the chat and now I can't pop back in again.
You have to restart.
Yeah.
You have to reload the page.
Oh no.
I'll be back.
Where's he gone?
Frantically trying to get it back in again.
At least you stayed in initiative.
That's true.
Alright, so seeing guys attack mid ritual, he's pretty enraged. If he moves, he's going to get Sex
2d4,
Plague.
I think it is.
It's 1d10 on a failed save. So when it enters the spell. Okay, yeah. So he's going to move.
But he would also take the mushroom.
Yeah. So he
Damage as
doesn't.
well.
He only takes the insect one if he ends his turn there.
Yeah.
He's going to take 4d4. Get out. Move to 10 feet there. Get out. It's 2d4 times 2. 4d
Yeah.
2 mushrooms.
Do you want me to roll those? Was it
Yeah.
44?
44.
11.
What's
So,
what's the matter there? What's wrong?
As he runs. He slumps dead.
Oh.
Wait, I think there's an opening in the cliff face there.
Smidge
It
annoyed
looks like
that
it.
that happened.
He's fallen behind it.
Mm.
If that hadn't happened, he wouldn't have lasted so much longer. Everything else is going on.
Maybe the frog worked.
Rest you up.
All right. Iris is going to, having seen the guy in charge fall down. I guess she's just going to turn her attention to the ones that are left. Has she seen? Have the ones up on the cliff? Have they made any sound? Would she know that they're there?
So Bob knows that they are there,
Yeah.
but
Alexa
that's
told
all.
Bob.
But other than that, we don't know, or I wouldn't know.
No,
Okay.
no.
In which case, I'll just target the 4 that are left, and I'm going to, seeing the spike growth, I'm going to run down onto the beach, and I'm going to hit this guy here with my Eldritch Blast. There we go. For 12?
This one here. So you fire your Eldritch Blast at him. He goes. As he flies back, the spikes themselves tear him apart.
Good one.
Bits of him go flying.
Right, it's all on you now, Graham. And I'll just take a step back. That's it for me. Wait,
Okay.
what?
What are they saying?
They're not going to stop. He's just going to telepathically say, "They're not going to stop fighting. Take them all out." And then he's going to, yeah, run to this guy and open his character sheet, which he forgot to open just before.
Critical hit. Open character.
And then he's going to use his second sphere. And I assume that's a hit.
Is a hit. You ram the spear through, and it
Into his-
basically
Yeah.
he wraps around one of the spikes, and to him sort of bend around. Bits that shouldn't bend around the spike. Yes. These two guys up the top here now. Guys aren't really watching what's going on up there. You're more focused on the battle in front of you.
Yeah, there's only 2 of them left, of course.
Graham's going to pick up his other spear while he's just standing here, by the way. And he's going to move just another 15.
Bob?
Hang on, can I? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Can
you
I
go.
pick up a sphere? Sorry?
Yeah, pick up.
That's an action, isn't it?
Action. Yeah.
Yeah,
So no.
no, I'm just going to move over there.
Bob, as you're watching Graham sort of steer this guy into the spike, all of a sudden you just feel this searing pain in your shoulder as a arrow comes flying down from above. 5 points of damage, and it sort of gets you right up in the upper part of your shoulder.
Sorry, who did that hit? Zom.
Oh, and
Bob.
spikes are down.
Bob.
Well, that was a good use of a spell.
It was.
Spikes are down. And that is the end of their turn. These guys now are going to got their short swords. 2 now that spikes have gone, they just run straight into you, Graham. Both of them are going to swing their short swords at you but they're just flinging wildly, and both of them. You're up.
He's just dancing around on his tiptoes.
Basically. And then Zom.
Up.
Oh,
Okay.
Is he staring up into space? So if Bob's like, ow, looks down at his arm, flash of anger across the face. If I wanted to hit those dudes, I'd have to be, what, 20 feet away from the base of the cliff if it's 100 feet up? Is that what we're saying?
Sure. Sounds reasonable.
So if I go over here-ish.
They'll have partial cover, so it'll be with disadvantage. I'm picturing them I saw your face, Ian. Is that right? If they're at the top of a cliff, I picture them leaning over and then just stepping back so that you can't really see them that well.
Yeah, they probably have 3/4 cover.
What's that, just disadvantage or?
No, it'd be a higher AC.
Bob doesn't know that. He
Plus
thinks he's
5.
awesome.
Plus 5 to the AC. Okay.
So go for the one on the right.
Ooh. I don't think that +5 was enough.
Just there's a little bit of the scalps hanging over, and boom.
You know, it goes vertically up the cliff and then just curves at the top because he's
Yeah.
such an awesome rainbow pitcher.
Pretty much.
Ah, wrong button. For a whole 8. Less only adds to your accuracy. It doesn't add damage, does it?
Your turn.
That's me turn.
Zom. Now Ramrod, you're up next after that.
Right. Zom is fairly limited range and is going to go. How far can I travel? 30 feet. Right. Go to there. Oh, can't actually hit anything.
You can hit that dead guy.
Yeah, I could hit the dead guy, I guess. Yeah. No, maybe that's probably.
And the small turtle. I mean, not turtle.
You can't
Frog.
hit it.
Frog.
You can see it.
You can't hit it, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no.
can use.
You had a spear from Graham. You could throw that.
Yeah, no.
There's a
actually, I've
spear
got
on the ground, actually, but right, yeah, you're standing on it.
Chill touch. Shouldn't chill touch be a?
It
Touch.
should be, but it's not. You basically manifest a hand 60 feet
Hey.
away. 60,
Yeah.
120? I can't, something like
It
that.
is 120 feet.
Yeah.
120.
So due to that, I'll move back to where I was. I won't take a movement, and I will chill touch the the closest one.
The top or down the bottom?
Oh no, down the bottom. Guys
That's a hit.
attacking. It's attacking Graham.
15
No.
is a hit.
Two.
I used the cold.
Solid.
You see, it's burning. Marks on its hands.
Can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Right.
Yeah.
The insect. No, you notice the insect plague is now gone too. And Rod,
Yep.
you're up.
Oakley dokley. I'm going to cast a spiritual weapon. Like this.
Where you casting it?
Over here. I don't know if I can put the shovel there, or you do it. I don't know.
Where the heck's it going? Should be there.
No, it's not a hexagon. It's a shovel.
Ta-da!
Cool.
I can dig it.
Yes, you can. Swing it at this guy.
And what do we got? Seems a hit for 4 points of damage.
Groovy.
Wet. It thud on the back of his head. Ugh.
Okay, and I think that's about all I can do. I'm still going to run up again. Where's 30?
How do you right click with a Mac?
With the right mouse button.
No, it's
Is
a
it like-
it's a trackpad.
And then
Is it like hold down the Apple key or some shit?
no,
I
you just
don't know.
do 2 fingers on the trackpad.
Ah, look at that.
That'll do me.
Exa.
Like a little
Iris and Graham.
hide behind the rocks. All done.
Bob, you notice the warm trickle of blood flowing down your arm from the wound. The arrow bolt.
I'm not in Kansas anymore. Iris turn.
She'll quickly yell out to Graham. Graham, they can hear you. Can they understand us?
Graham's just gonna. And telepathically, they can understand me.
Then Iris is gonna think back to her previous battles with the Nokobolds and realize that her plan probably isn't going to work. And she kind of sighs in dismay and then just raises her hand again and casts another Eldritch Blast at the one closest.
On here.
Yep.
You got inspiration?
I do not have inspiration, so I try and I guess it glances off the shovel.
It does. It's not long after the shovel whacks it, so it's head.
So
So he's
Eldritch Blast can glance off it, but I can't jump on it.
magic and magic, not magic and rabbit.
What
It's a
about
talking
Magic
rabbit. It's a talking rabbit. That's magic.
You're up.
The shovel doesn't provide flanking, does it?
No.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay. The guy directly in front. He's gonna get a little spear love.
Tappity tap tap.
He certainly
God
does
damn
get
it.
some speary lovey.
If only.
How would you like? Is there some sort of graphic way you'd like to totally eviscerate him, or?
Yeah, basically belly button, if you had one, straight up to his throat.
Yes. He doesn't necessarily have a discernible belly button, but you give him one. Then you make it bigger, and now he has a belly line.
It should go right about here.
And
Would
all the
imply
way
that
up.
He was not born via the egg.
Egg.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
His yolk spot is where we aim. Anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah. Use the key point and take
Ooh.
two unarmed attacks against that guy.
Both hit. He's already dead.
Oh.
His wife gently
He's
weeps.
already dead. Stop!
So Graham's still going at him as he's falling to the ground. Teeth flying everywhere.
The Kobold commanders, or the Nookabold commanders. There's not much they can do, so they're gonna see Zom.
Gra- I was just gonna say, Graham wants to try and get up
100 foot
up
cliff.
here.
100 feet.
Was there a way? I remember he tried to get up here previously.
You'll
this
recall
could be
there
a
was
way.
a sleight of hand and then a strength check, sleight of hand and then a strength check for every
Yeah,
10
yeah.
feet.
No, it's not worth it, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Zom helped out and tried to do a bit of a hammer throw type
Nah.
thing with the swinging
It's
rounds
not gonna
and,
work.
throwing you up in the air?
So anything else you want to do then?
Graham's gonna run. Squelch.
As you there
Yeah,
in here, as you get
yeah.
here, you notice we're on the cliff here. Large feline taking in the battle before it. It's the first time you've noticed it. The two kobold commanders see Zom, nice juicy target down there.
Ooh.
Ooh, indeed.
Oh, that's not so bad.
+2 to your AC against your target. Yeah, well, this guy here has now a +7 on his AC. But it still does.
Is that only against Zom or is that against everyone?
That's only against Zom.
So
Oh,
if
it should be
Zom
a
attacks,
Mm.
But that's 4 points of damage to Zom as a bolt comes flying down and it aims for your staff and it misses your staff, but it gets your hand. Your hand is now quite a nasty wound on it. The other guy, Iris, 12.
12 is a hit.
Oh no!
Ah! I think I'm done for.
It's actually just the feathers flying past on the fletching. Not the felching, the fletching on the arrow. Graze
Fletching
past
yesterday.
Graze past your hand, and you get like a pretty a cut on your hand from it, basically.
Ah, I think this is the end.
The beast from the feline creature on the cliff here now disappeared, and you guys can't
But you'll see.
really discern it anymore.
Wait, what? Was it actually there?
Yeah, it was there.
Oh, okay.
Graham saw it, and
I had the turn order there.
sorry, no, it wasn't actually there, but it was.
Okay.
It wasn't in the map, but it was just sort of watching from partway down the cliff. It had like a little vantage point that it could, very small ledge that it could stand on, and it's now gone again.
Was it looking at anyone in particular, or was it just looking on?
Just watching.
A peeping tomcat. Oh, no.
Bob, you're up.
Come on, buddy.
Bob's still annoyed at the people who shot him. And he's going to take another go at the same guy. Or he thinks he is. Oh, yeah, there he goes. 19's good enough.
19 is good enough. As the Eldritch Blast streaks up on a similar line, notice this the hairs on your arm suddenly stand to attention, and Graham noticed this as well, and a strange feeling of calmness runs down your spine. Almost in an instant, a deafening and savage roar fills your ears. It's loud and deep. You don't see it. The two little heads at the top here disappear. And just make out the top part of the skull. They disappear. And everything goes silent. Moments later, an arm just comes flying down. Lands just here. You would recognize it, like it's got a claw on it, without making too much of a assumption, because it's pretty obvious, Bob, that's probably the arm of one of the beasts that was up the top. Just in an
That was
instant,
a good Eldritch Blast.
Throw down your
Huge-
arms.
a huge shadowy figure it's been the ever-present in the jungle, bounces from the cliff top, and it almost seems to float. It sort of lands in the trees here, jumps down just next to where the arm sort of landed. It looks to you, Bob, and you immediately you feel an immediate sense of security, safety.
My friend. That's the only friend I've got on this island, aside from you guys, so far.
It then sort of pads towards the spot here, sort of slowly walks towards where the sorcerer was performing its ritual, and it sort of gets down its big paw and sort of just pads not carefully, just sort of pads at the sorcerer as if it's kind of looking for something, doesn't really acknowledge anything. It then approaches the stone wall and rubs up against it like cats do, like it kind of just rubs itself up against it.
When it wants to be
Did it
let out.
is it because it got something off the sorcerer thing?
No, it didn't. You didn't see it get anything. It just sort of patted at it, and patted at the corpse, and just sort of had a look what was there and kept walking. As it passed it, basically, just had a little look through it. Graham, it turns to you, being the closest by, It locks eyes with you. Stares at you for a moment. Lets out another deafening roar. With that,
Or roars, Graham just wants to telepathically say, "Can you understand me?"
that with unnatural speed, it bounds past you, back up the cliff face, and disappears from sight.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, okay. Yep.
It clearly emphasized the spot here. That was sort of rubbing up against it, nuzzling it. That's the word I'm looking for. It just sort of nuzzled up against it. Comfortingly nuzzling up against it. You guys are out of combat.
Graham, I'm assuming, would have noticed that.
Yeah. You, all of you, were transfixed on this. It's like nothing any of you have ever seen before.
Does Graham see anything about that section of wall that looked interesting, or?
I mean, okay. As you approach the site of the sorcerer's ritual, you appreciate the magnitude of it. Although you're unsure what it actually is, it looks like a normal cliff face, although where the strange beast rubbed up against it, you do notice that it seems somewhat smoother, the rest of the wall, now that at a close inspection.
So,
And
Graham's rubs the wall a little bit. Huh.
rubs the wall.
And he thinks back to what he heard the sorcerer saying.
Didn't take any damage, did you? Okay. You rub the wall. On as you're sort of rubbing your hand up against it, you notice that there's just something catches your eye, just a little dint in the wall, and there's these silvery sections, just veins running through it.
Can I make an Arcana check on this wall to see if there's anything? I have a suspicion about what it is and what we need to do based on what I saw. So I'll walk up and I'll grab Graham's hand. If that's all right with you, Graham?
Graham holds back at first, and then lets his hand be taken.
Thanks, buddy. And then I'll just quickly, deftly grab my little dagger and I'll make a cut across his hand. And I'll place his hand on the wall with the silvery vein, where the silvery veins are.
And despite the humidity and the sun beating down upon the wall, it's unnaturally cool to touch. Grab your hand across it, and you feel a small trickle from where Iris cut your hand. You notice like the small sort of cut that she made. Blood sort of slowly trickles on it. A thin stream of it convalesces to a single point running near where your finger is touching it, and you sort of look at it and put your hand back as Iris sort of your hand back on the wall. Notice that there's just this really thin blood left on the wall. And despite the stone being thick and hard, your blood seems to sort of soak into the wall. It runs through new cracks forming in the hard rock. Silvery veins start to pulse and move as well, widening and pulsating, and in an instant the plain cliff wall has transformed into a dazzling display of intertwining red and silvery cracks. What initially seems to make for random movements across the wall ahead of you, the two paths are now making very deliberate, circular, almost patterns, chasing each other. The stone around them now begins to crack and warp. What is now apparent as a whirlpool takes shape. The centre of the whirlpool begins to open into a doorway, large enough, you would assume, for that mysterious beast to enter, with a cave. As it sort of opens up, you can see the inside of a cave. At the top of the cliff in the distance, you can now hear the familiar booming roar. This time it's different. It's almost like you're feeling it enticing you. Enter.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'll like look like amazingly into the new newly made door, and I'll just wipe the dagger on Graham's clothing and then put it back in my satchel.
Graham, can you do a dagger attack?
I don't have a dagger anymore.
Iris.
Oh, you want me to do a dagger attack?
Yeah, because you sliced Graham's hand.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
okay.
like,
It's not really an attack per se. It's
it
more
misses.
it's more like I had his hand, so I'd get advantage on it.
Fine, fair enough. No damage.
Oh, no damage. It's just blood.
Just blood.
I'm happy to take a 1 HP.
But no more.
And just
Hang on.
prepping some music.
Do you need healing or anything?
I'm fine.
Sorry. Oh,
Iris
okay.
looks at her hand and is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need it quite a bit."
Serious? Yeah. Sorry, I was hardly listening. Because Zom can hear you.
I'm gonna hop
Graham
over
just
to Bob.
grits his teeth and forms a fist.
I'm a fist.
Bob, you alright? Your arm looks sore. You need something for that?
Looks down and sees the bolt and he's like, oh. Ah! Pulls it out. What the fuck?
Give you 5.
That's cool. That's what I'm down. I feel completely invigorated.
Hang on, wasn't that meant to be for Iris? Or was Iris joking?
Aris is just
Iris was
Hitting
being
everyone.
a bit. I think Iris was being a bit dramatic.
Right.
Alright, now do you guys... I've just got to pop out for a second.
Make a medicine check, Zom.
What?
You think this is?
Medicine check.
You guys,
Hang on.
while you guys
You're
work
not
out what
fucking DM.
you want to do next, I'll be back in a second.
Oh, does this constitute a short rest?
Definitely.
I want an adventure.
we're gonna go into the cave. Can anyone? It looks dark in there. Can anyone see?
I cannot.
No, I don't have dark vision.
Oh,
I got
Are we
light.
like?
I'll cast light.
Are we actually the only D&D party in the world where everyone doesn't have dark vision?
yeah, I think we
Possibly.
are.
I think so.
No one has dark vision.
I don't think rabbits can see in the dark.
Alright.
All the carrots. All the carrots.
Exotic races,
It's
and
myth.
none of them have dark vision.
I can use a couple of key points to get dark vision.
I'll just pick up a rock or something and cast light on it.
Are you guys wondering how you're going to see in the dark?
Yes.
It appears
No,
to be
no,
light.
no. Ramrod's
be
got light.
There appears to be light sources within the cave from where you can, from where you're.
Okay.
I'll throw the rock away.
That's as far as we got.
Alright, are you guys gonna start to walk in, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yep.
check for traps.
Nah, Ramrod's just going straight in.
That's a
Cool map.
Cool map.
I can't see it properly. Oh, that looks good.
There is
Yeah.
a couple of things that I need to just point out.
Are we coming in from the top or the bottom?
Coming in from
The top.
right up
Near
here.
the-
I've just got to
near
drag
the
you guys
cliff.
in.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
There are a couple of light sources there.
On the map, there's a couple of like weapons and stuff. You just need to ignore those.
Are there?
Yeah, like there's like a couple of
Oh,
like
yeah.
this is like
Sword,
a cool
axe.
map.
Oh,
It
yeah.
There's an axe.
was
yeah,
like
so-
perfect for
Yeah.
exactly what I needed. And there's like some skulls and shit. Just disregard those. All right, they're not there.
They're just rocks.
Why didn't you use some of your photoshopping like you did with the
Because I
dead
only
bodies?
noticed, only noticed them
Remember-
the other day.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Right. As you pass into the cave through the gaping maelstrom of stone and blood, you enter into a narrow passage. Your senses are immediately overwhelmed. A subtle, sweet metallic smell permeates your nostrils. And as your eyes slowly adjust to the dim light within, you can make out a large cavern ahead of you. Cool breeze runs past you as fresh air seems to be being sucked to the unknowns ahead of you. After time, you notice what you thought was wind whistling is actually the sound of running water ahead of you. So, yes, very, very clever, very clever.
What weapons?
In this section ahead of you is a passage that's about 10 meters long before you. So, sort of, you've walked through the main door. Then this sort of bit that you're in now is about 10 meters long, and the rock here actually comes down quite low at the end of it. I want to make an investigation check.
Oh, I'm in front, so I can try that.
You rub your hands along the or your paw along the wall. Ramrod, dust. Sort of you knock off quite a big bit of dust. So it sort of falls off in a sheet, and there's actually a flash of color, faded color catches your eye. Your eyes immediately gain focus on motifs that actually line the corridor, and as you're sort of looking around now, you sort of rubbing your hands all over it, both sides. You see that the whole length of the walls are covered in aged painted murals. So as you rub your hands along the first one, the first one you kind of uncovered. You see the image of a simple human figures fighting a large beast. The small figure cowers behind the human figure fighting. Following your image, you can see you sort of follow it along, and it kind of looks like it might be telling a bit of a story.
What kind of beast does it? What?
Does it look like the jungle cat?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look like the jungle
Okay.
cat. It looks. I mean, it's a very picture in my head, like kind of like cave paintings, basically.
Mhm.
Somewhere between cave paintings and medieval paintings, that level of detail. The beast itself just looks like maybe like a
Cindersloth.
giant, like crocodile type thing. And as you follow it across, you can see that the bigger figure, human figure, is defending the smaller figure. And as you follow it across, you can see the bigger figure slays the beast. And then the smaller figure and the larger figure are embracing. And as you're walking along, you catch another little glimpse. Lower to the ground, another mural stands out about shin height. And this one here, you see a bunch of people sort of slumped, but they seem thinner and smaller physically, but like the bodies that have been drawn are smaller, they're narrower. And they're sort of all sort of sitting slumped around. And then you follow it along again because it seems to be telling a story as you go along. And you see another figure there that's got like a sack, and it's pulling what looks like fruit or food of some kind out of the sack, giving it to these sort of emaciated figures. And then as you keep following it, you see that all the figures are sort of standing around, and there's no longer any skinnier figures. They're all about the same now.
All been eaten.
You turn to the other side, wondering what's there, and you're sort of rubbing away, and you notice that there's huge. It's sort of as big as you are. You're rubbing it out, and it's this huge, big volcano. You rub the top, and you can see it's an imagery of this huge volcano erupting. And as you're sort of rubbing around, because you're expecting to see people, because on the other side there were people everywhere, and you're rubbing, and eventually you sort of see this dome. and the lava, the rocks are sort of, they're not penetrating the dome. You can see it raining down everywhere, but there's this sort of sphere covering, and you keep rubbing around, and you can see there's this one figure with its arms upstretched, looking up, sort of as if it's making the figure. Underneath that dome, as you're rubbing, you see a whole bunch of kneeling figures, cowering figures, and there's this figure, the big robed figure, holding up this sort of dome over these smaller figures standing next to this giant volcano that's erupting. You sort of rub around a bit more, and you see a few more fit murals, but they're faded and difficult to make out. And you sort of get towards the end here, and by the end of it, you're crouching down quite low, and you realise you'll probably need to sort of crawl through the next bit almost, progress further into the cave. This is all where you guys are standing now.
Yeah, before we get out into this big open spot.
Yeah, before you get out into the big open spot. Yeah. What would you guys like to do?
There's no point in staying in here, so I'll keep moving until I do come out. But I'm only 3 foot something, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
The narrow opening is just wide enough for you to pass through. You kind of have to bend your ears down to get through. Large stalactites hang down from the top of the opening, and smaller stalagmites are coming up. As you get there, you sort of see these on that big rock that's hanging down. Stalactites hanging down, the smaller ones coming from the bottom.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yep.
You sort of force your way through these sort of stone growths, and your body contorts such that when you're sort of ducking down to dodge the stalactites, your head's forced quite low, so much so that your lips really make contact with this stone, a large stone, just as you walk, sort of crawl through there. Get through onto the other side.
Does Ramrod have lips?
He has.
Okay. Let's continue. Graham's going to follow him. He's pretty short as well. I think he's about 3 foot.
You can get through most of the tunnel, but just at the end, you do have to, for that last bit, you sort of have to contort yourself. And as you're contorting yourself, you pretty much have to make contact with this rock. And you basically have to kiss this rock just before. You don't kiss it, but your lips basically have to touch it before you come through the hole.
Graham, go backwards.
Why your lips?
Why not your nose?
This is clearly the Rock
yeah.
of Gibraltar, right?
But yeah,
What is
like forcing
the Blarney Stone. I'm
Blimey
sorry.
stone.
Yeah. Rock of Gibraltar.
Zom is
Finding the wine.
Zom is probably too big for this.
Zom can get through.
Well, Zom
He's
can
definitely
get
kissing
through
the rock.
Crawls through.
Zom can
He
actually
manages-
kiss both sides of the rock.
He manages to get through, but yeah, the
Because
last
every rock.
just sort of.
Elephants are quite like mice. They can fit through small spaces, even though they don't seem they could.
How big is Zom?
I think he's meant to be up 7 or 8 feet tall.
Dimensions. He can go down. He can go down on all fours. Like an elephant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Graham and Ramrod are like 3 foot tall when
Yeah.
they're standing up.
Yeah, but I think that was what Simon said, was that you guys have to like stoop down. Like Ramrod in particular just had to stoop down, and his ears brushed against the top.
Whereas Zom has
Zom
to
will
actually
be-
physically crawl
Yeah,
physically on his stomach to get through.
He's got to worm his way through.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crawling
This is
with
like
his
a
trunk.
cave.
Like,
Yeah, he just uses his
pulling
trunk to
along.
pull him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Break a couple of stalagmites.
How big are Zom's tusks? Do they get stuck?
No,
Are they juvenile?
Zom passes through.
Okay. So let's ignore the physics. We all get through.
You all get through, and all of you basically have to, in the last bit, as you're contorting your head through the stalagmites and stalactites,
We're all kissing the rock, yeah.
kissing the rock as you get through.
Okay.
Dusting the dirt and sand off your
Does
clothes.
it look like the rock is like morphing to make sure it's making contact with our lips?
Dusting the dirt and sand off your clothes, you stand upright and stretch upwards, giving your body the space it needs to realign. Attention now turns to the large cavernous chamber ahead of you. 4 pillars of light illuminate a pathway ahead of you, and the cavern to a lesser degree. Above you, natural roof stands hundreds of feet in the air. You see stalactites hanging, some large, some smaller. Ahead of you, a bridge extends across a ravine. It appears to lead to a similarly sized platform, the one you stand on now. As your senses adjust to your new surroundings, you hear the sound of running water, or at least something similar. A subtle difference to the sound.
Running beer.
The air
Sounds similar.
The air is now thicker. The previously sweet metallic smell you noticed is now much stronger, more pronounced. Despite the ominous opening and entrance to the cavern, now overcome with a sense of safety and tranquility. As you look to the source of the running water, notice ahead of you a small stream flows, maybe a foot or two wide at its widest point. Guys wanna anything? The creek?
And where are we? We're just standing where we are now, or
Pretty much all just sort of hunkered around
Yeah.
on the edge here,
milling
So-
around?
and around.
So there is a. Did you draw these murals, Simon?
No, this was great.
Oh,
this was
okay.
That
this
was me.
Michael. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I was going to say this beast looks somewhat elephantesque.
Yeah, he said a big beast, so I drew an elephant.
Right. Okay.
You'll have to step across this water at some point.
Okay, Graham's just gonna jump across.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, just gonna jump across.
You jump across, you look down at it. Oh,
It's
that
just
doesn't
water.
that's not water. That's definitely not water.
What is it?
Do you want to do a DC check? Nature check on it?
Nature check. Yeah.
Iris shoves her head in and starts drinking.
If it looks like water, maybe.
Zom
What
pulls
is
his
it?
head straight back out.
Investigate. Would you say nature?
Nature check, yeah. Anyone can assist her if they wish.
Hope it's not bleach.
Yeah, why not?
No.
Like natural
You-
bleach.
Sort of
Naturally occurring bleach.
remembering your plunge into the water previously at the stream, you approach this one with a bit more trepidation, and you sort of look at it ahead of you, and you see there's like a bit of a rock on the ground next to you. You kind of like put that in. It's a bit of a longer rock. You can kind of pick it up, and you sort of just put it in, and you flick it up on the. You flick the what you look like kind of like water up onto the edge of the rock next to you out of it, and it immediately beads. And you notice that this is quicksilver. It's a stream of quicksilver. It flows unabated, and as you follow its natural course, you can see it flow off the edge of the platform to the depths below.
This is
Here.
an expensive stream.
Hmm. If I've got some sort of container, I'm definitely gonna take some.
Graham likes its shininess.
Is shiny. I
Oh,
don't know.
do
Do you
I
have a
have a
container of
I'm,
any?
I'm looking. I'm looking.
So is Bob dead? Or
Bob dead? No.
didn't
I've
Bob
jumped
shove
across
his
it.
head in?
No one shoved their heads in.
So I've got a container of.
I volunteered Iris
Oh, did
Ah.
you? Right.
from the
I've
last
got
stream.
a. I've got a container of ink. I'm just gonna dump that out and collect quicksilver in it.
A degree. Oh, yeah. Sleight of hand check.
Sorry.
Sleight of hand check.
A sleight of hand check.
Oh, a dexterity check. I'm presuming Quicksilver does something. You would
I'll do a
Okay,
sleight of
okay.
hand check. That sounds good. Nope.
hang on. Let me
Is
just
that
make sure I
dex
want to do
anyway?
Quicksilver. Okay. Yes. No. Yes.
Not even guidance would have helped that. We've rolled a lot of.
You guys have shit.
Once. Oh, we did get.
As you sort of go to plunge your little container in, it slips out of your hand and smashes.
Damn.
Ratsies. Guys.
Bloody clumsy. Should let me do it. Go. Okay, is there anything else to see as we go in deeper?
Sort of like
To the cave.
just a stone platform now with this sort of carving, this sort of quicksilvery stream running across it that cascades down over at this point over here, and ahead of you is a looks to be a
Grant's
bridge.
gonna go to look where it cascades down. He finds it very intriguing. It could be
You
something
see it,
so shiny yet flowable.
yeah, it flows down, and you can see it sort of fall off of the edge, and you listen, and you're like, oh, okay, it's falling off into the edge into what I would guess would be the same material down there as it is up here.
Any other sounds that kind of sound out of place, or
Nothing that sounds out of place.
hey guys, come over here and see this.
All right.
What is it that we are looking at?
Iris begrudgingly goes to see.
Oh, hang on, sorry.
Boobs. Okay.
What?
Ooh,
That's
looks
weird.
like there's an axe crossed out on the ground there.
It's just a bit of graffiti.
Ooh, that's a long way down. Alexa, go check it out.
For some reason, my
Like,
ruler thing is like
flut-
pretty much disappeared.
flutters down, flutters back, and goes.
Having an assistant is so handy, guys.
I'm sorry. Did you say
Boobies?
Just looks like a big
Yeah.
lake of this stringy stuff. Didn't seem to be anything of interest down there. Just
Well, that's not at all.
Quicksilver, as far as I can see.
Well, that's not at all disconcerting.
Um,
Do you know what this means? If we were to control this, we could make so much money.
Dom, you've not heard Iris talk like that before. First time you've gotten any vibe of her. Maybe didn't sound overly innocent the way she said that.
Oh, people's character has many. People's characters have many facets to them.
I like money.
So from Iris, from where you're standing,
Yeah.
you can actually see a bit of a way down here, and you see there's steps leading down to this part here.
All right. I'm going to rush over and have a look. I'm going to rush down the stairs, moving on to the next part.
So
Ig-
you
Throwing personal safety caution to the wind.
rush down. How far? Where are you rushing to?
Rush down the stairs to the next
Down
section.
the stairs. So once you step there, can you do a Constitution save, please?
Of course. Gotta bring up the old character sheet again. Constitution saving throw. Not great at those. A 6. Wait,
And
I'm
as-
not. I'm no longer blessed, so it's just a 5.
As you sort of put your foot on it, just slightly gives way a crack under your foot. You just feel this sharp sort of stabbing pain in your foot.
Ah.
4 points of damage. And you look down and you see the bridge is just cracked slightly under the weight of your foot. Notice that it's still a pretty sort of you're standing on a firm base, but it's almost like there was a false crust on the top of it made of this sort of stone.
Oh, well, that
50
hurt.
foot out,
So
he's
I'm definitely
outline
going to
of
run
hill.
across the rest to get to the other side.
Yeah. Well, give me before you do that, give me a nature check.
I didn't do it. Those stone spikes weren't me. Just saying it now.
You look at the stone and you're like, I think I put a little bit too much pressure on my heel when I stepped down off of the stair. If I just walk slowly and flat-footed, I would probably get across this stone
Alright.
bridge quite easily.
I will waddle like a penguin across the rest of it. Assuming I can get to there and then get to the other side.
Is anyone else going to follow
Yep.
Iris?
Ooh.
So
Graham's going to kind of sit and wait.
Iris going to
Zom's going to take up the rear.
Iris going to tell them about her sore foot.
She'll just kind of half turn her head and just be like, don't go too fast. And that's it.
It's fine. Yeah. And you guys see the footprint of Iris that are cracked through the stone and
Bob's gonna try and trace her footprints across the.
slowly walking across it. You guys all get across it.
I'm in
Even
Iris.
Zom. Even Zom. Yeah.
Even Zom. ... Yeah? Question mark?
Slowly. As you guys
More
step up
graffiti on
the
the ground,
meter or so back up to the platform's height, which is about the same height as the other one, you notice the wind blowing quite strongly here. Iris, your hair whips around in the stronger breeze. Looking around, you note the natural shape of the cavern you are now in. Its structure and internal dimensions seem to funnel any wind flow across the platform just here, so the breeze is quite strong. Sweet metallic smell, although still present, has reduced and is replaced with a deep earthy smell. As the wind blows past you, not unpleasantly on it, you hear a simple melody. Expecting to see some sort of mysterious wind instrument as the source, you now notice the stalagmites at this point have a number of small holes naturally occurring in them, and some are missing their tips. And you sort of connecting
just
a few.
the tips.
A couple of them missing just the tips. Yep. And
It's too easy.
as you connect the mental dots, you would presume this to be the source of the simple melody. Ahead of you, a large stone wall stands.
Did you say
Stab Graham again.
Did you say a large stone wall?
A large stone wall stands.
Not a stoned wall.
Stone.
Does anything look interesting about that wall, or is it just a boring old wall, or anything's on the wall? Graham's going to go and rub it. He rubbed the other wall and
And
something
things happen.
happened.
Yeah, he rubs this wall.
Feels good, man.
The stone wall ahead of you is smooth and similar to the entrance to the cave prior to its opening. It's entirely bare. Thing on the wall, aside from 11 evenly spaced holes around chest height.
Are they for nipples?
It's
That
on
head
account
height
of
for
time. We have to cover up the holes on the stalagmites and play the right tune.
You wait, do you want to put your finger in one of the holes, or do you want to investigate the holes? as well?
Oh, it's not the first time Bob's fingered a hole. Which one? This one?
They're all sort of on the wall here, basically.
I haven't scrolled down far enough. Gonna put his hand over two of the holes.
I've broken Phil. Hold on.
You touch the holes and
All good.
grab your fingers sort of over the top of them. You notice that there's quite a bit of dirt in them, and one of them you focus on, you sort of scoop out the dirt and sort of clear it out, and it now has a clear...
Dirty hole.
Find hole.
You got to post that in the main channel, Ian.
Okay. Sure. Bouncing off of Phil's idea there. Okay.
So I've scooped out the
Just have a
hole.
look.
I've retread the prostitute. I've bunged a leg of ham up her and pulled out the bone.
Cavity. You clear out the cavity of its dirt. You notice that it is.
Did you just use the thesaurus for hole? Is that what you?
So you clear out one of the cavities, and you notice that it's not round. It's only maybe an inch or so deep. It's not round. It's actually kind of shaped like a spearhead, sort of rounded at the bottom and comes to a tapered point at the top.
We haven't seen anything like that at all.
Roll an intelligence check, Graham.
Didn't we find some glass or
Nothing
something that was
like that.
this?
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. No,
No.
Graham's not aware of anything.
no.
No.
But Bob,
No.
you remember that you found
They're not the shape of frogs.
quite small, smaller than this size, but similarly shaped, carved sort of.
Crystals.
Yeah.
Graham's,
Kind of
Graham's at a complete loss.
And Bob, as you clear one of these cavities out, and you're like, oh, there's a whole bunch of them, and you clear it out, and there's 11 identical ones.
Graham shoves his spear tip into one.
And
If
you're
you
going
know what I
to poke it, or
mean.
you're going to take the steer.
No, just poke it. Looks similar.
Tonk, tonk.
Yeah.
The holes themselves are sort of like that. They're not like deep. They're like that into the.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try and see if
Graham was never good at getting the triangular thing through the triangular hole, so. Suppose
it's like exiled.
And that's right. This goes in the square hole. And now the mirror, the window shape. Yep, that's right. It fits in the square hole.
There's nothing else noticeable on the wall. It's quite high, and it sort of comes around to a natural ceiling.
Is the wall warm? Like, is it warm to the touch, or is it cold?
Just feels like you would expect it to. Not hot,
wall.
not cold, not warm, not cold. Well, I suppose it would be cool. It's a sort of similar to the ambient temperature of the area.
So there's
As
11
you're-
stalagmites, which all have.
No.
sort of
The
spear
holes.
shape.
The holes are in the wall.
Oh, they're in the wall.
Holes are.
They're
I
in
thought
the
you said
wall.
they were in the stalagmites because that's where the melody was coming
Are
from.
holes
ones-
in the
Yeah.
these ones sort of back here.
Ah, okay. So I have 4 rough-hewn crystals in my inventory. Is that all we've got? Has anyone got any more?
Graham doesn't know about any of these.
No.
I think so.
I don't think you do. I think there was only a handful in there, 4 of them. So.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can fit any of the crystals into the holes.
It's approximately like, it would be like about that size difference, like trying to. The crystals you've got are about thumb size. The holes would be about. Like,
Ah, okay. All right.
Like it's a massive size differential there. You put one
Is
in. You're like,
is there-
if this was like 10 times the size, it would be a perfect fit, but it
Okay.
doesn't fit.
That's it.
Is there air or anything coming out of the holes?
Okay, and as you sort of dig into the cavity, you feel that there's a hard stone backing to it, at an inch or so deep.
Zom just try putting his hand over the top of some of the cavities down on the stalagmites.
I like the ones that you think the
That
music
the
is coming
air
from.
is going through. Yeah.
Yeah, you can cover
Like
up some of
just
the
like-
holes there. Yeah, and
See if it,
music subtle. As you cover them up, the music subtly changes.
Is there any change
Still
with the holes up on
relatively
the wall?
pleasant. It changes with the holes on the wall.
Where did we find the crystals?
Found them in that Tinkerer's on the Tinkerer.
You found a small little treasure chest in the Tinkerer's belongings.
Did we
There was a
search that
carved-
shaman?
He disappeared.
You didn't say you were going to search the shaman, but to retroactively search the shaman.
That would.
I would have searched him if he was still there.
I mean, there's some. He's got a pouch basically, and there's all of this ornate stuff on
He's a
him.
marsupial.
And then he's got like a little side pouch, and you think if there's going to have anything, there's going to be stuff in there. Open it up, you find a couple more of those sort of crystals that are being carved like that, similar to the ones that were in the Inventor's thing. And there's like some knuckle bones, and a couple of berries, and that's about it.
How many of those crystals? How many? Sorry. 2.
Two.
Okay. I'll add them to mine. So I've got 6 rough-hewn crystals. Small rough-hewn crystals. Okay. Come back in here.
Can't get. There's nowhere around this wall, I guess.
Almost
Over
like a
it, it's
natural
just-
amphitheater. Sort of just curves around.
Can we just try doing something like everybody just put 2 hands on?
The
Oh.
holes in the stalagmites, are they as big as the holes in the wall?
They're more like the holes in the stalactites that you look at them, and you've seen people playing like ocarinas and flutes and windpipes and stuff.
Do we
They're
think
more
that they're
like-
related?
No.
Would the crystals fit in the stalagmites?
Yeah, you could, like they're round holes. They kind of look more like, they're not perfectly round, but they're more sort of natural looking, not necessarily shapen to the similar shape. But you can try and put a crystal into there.
Okay, I'm going to try and put a crystal in and see what happens.
You go up to one of them, you find one of the bigger stalactites. You get the crystal and you plop it in. Eventually you just hear this sort of, presume the sound of it hitting the ground in the bottom of the.
Okay. Make that 5 rough-hewn crystals.
Can you get it out again?
No.
Got any way of breaking
No.
the stone on this thing?
I mean, yeah, but
Well, clearly there's something underneath it.
The ground?
How far did it fall?
You would estimate would have fallen about the height from the hole to where the same level your feet are at.
I don't know.
I play opponent's song on the stalagmites. All right, I'm gonna listen to Zom, and I'm gonna go and put my hands over one of the holes.
On the stalagmites or the.
No, on the wall.
Yeah.
On the wall, yep. Put a couple of the. So now 4 of the holes are three of the cavities are covered up.
Let's,
You guys
let's
gonna
just-
push or just stand?
Let's just try doing this. See
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah,
Like it's light activated or dark activated.
it's in a cave, Zom. I don't think it's dark activated.
It might be light activated. It might be hand activated. Who knows?
I think
Put a
hand
frog in it.
activated. But
Guys, yeah, pushing against it, pressuring
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Yep. Doing
The
all that.
result,
Try-
the result is what you would expect pushing against a stone wall to yield.
A magical stone wall, so it gives way and opens a door.
Can we fall through the illusion? Sweet.
And down.
All right.
So if we have a look in these holes, there's no sort of. It looks like it's been sort of carved. It's not like a natural thing. It's more shaped into this shape? Is there any traces of something that used to be in there that's removed, like little shavings, specks of a crystal?
pulled like dust and dirt out of the little holes, little
Right.
cavities, and you didn't see any dust or you didn't see any like crystals or anything. On inspection, they look like they could have been carved, but pretty roughly. If they have, they're pretty roughly carved. They could also be just coincidentally natural that these 11 holes line up in a row, all the exact same shape.
Graham, send a message to the cat and ask him what's up with this. He's
Graham
my friend.
tries.
He'll help us.
All right.
Graham tries,
So,
but to no avail.
so the shaman was trying to get in here with his four friends, his four supplicants.
You
They
would
must have
interpret
had
those four to be probably his guards.
his guards. So he was coming in here with what he had on him. The idea being that whatever he had would be necessary for this part here. So, what do we do? And all he had on him was the rough-hewn crystals and the knuckle bones.
He was wearing like quite an elaborate outfit, feathers and bronze and all kinds of stuff. He had a staff that you looked at it was non-magical. It was just a big stick, that fancy-looking old gnarled stick. And he had a pouch that had nothing really magical in it.
And Graham, what did he say to you?
Your kiss on my side, Thinth. I feel your love and your lights descend upon me. Open for us. Open your cave for us.
It was
Thing
after
again.
you Eldritch blasted him in the side.
Yeah.
So, Finn, again.
Thinth. Yeah, so when you Eldritch blasted him in the side, you kissed on my side, Thinth.
These torches that we can see there, are they actually there?
Kiss on my side.
They're just they
So,
are
psh,
they're not flame
So,
torches. They're just
pain.
basically light orbs just hovering.
The pain is the kiss of Thinth on their side. I feel your love and your lights descend upon me. So Thinth is a deity, by the sounds of it.
Sounds
for
like
them.
it.
They're into pain from him. That's a blessing, a kiss.
All right.
I knew a girl like that once in Yata.
Okay. So, Graham, can I see your hand again?
Oh, this one?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. And I'll reopen the wound and stick it back into one of the holes.
Not again. Ugh.
Graham, as the point of blood, where it's convalescing at the tip of your finger, touches the wall, nothing happens.
He's a halfling. He's not got a lot of blood in him, for God's sakes. Next time, stabs on. He's got lots of blood.
Give him a blood nose, he can spray it everywhere.
Well, it looks like something fits in these 11 holes. Are the 11 holes all like in a straight line, or are they different heights? Or
Perfectly straight line.
Perfectly straight.
From where you are admiring the stonework. From where you're turning, you can't tell that they're natural or unnatural. But you're like, if this is indeed made by hand, this is impressive. The angles they have achieved, the straightness on them is, and the way they've replicated that shape is very impressive stonework. If this is indeed handmade and not natural, this is a very impressive stonework.
Also, are they? So they're arranged in sort of maybe not a complete semicircle, but they're like a concave wall. So is there?
Well,
a
I
focal,
mean, you can kind of
Is
see.
it
there
is it a
focal
flat
point or
wall
something?
or is it a curve to it?
You can kind of see like the curve here. I had to crop bits out of this map because it's like a whole bunch of other stuff on here, but you can kind of see the natural shape of it there. And the holes sort of line up in the straight bit sort of between there and there.
Okay, so there's not going to be a focal point. All of the holes are in a straight part of the wall.
And it looks like the crystals that you've got fit perfectly if they were 10 times bigger.
Along that sort of.
I'm going to look at the crystal I've got. Does it look like there's any other... Is it just... Sorry, I'm going to use Eldritch Sight, and I'm going to look and see if there's anything magical at all in my immediate area.
The wall before you lights up similarly to the wall that lit up on the beach. Each of the individual holes lights up brightly. Light sources behind you light up.
The light sources light up. Okay.
That makes sense.
But I mean,
They're light
it's a
sources.
magical source of light. Like, you know, it's a you're presuming that okay,
Continual flame. Gotcha.
continual flame or some sort of continual light source is being cast on them at some point. And you look at the crystals; they all look the same. All of them, the ones you picked up from the sorcerer, the ones you picked up from the inventor, they all look the same.
Crystals don't look like they combine to become bigger. Like it's not like a...
Captain Crystal.
Can we try and
Station crystal.
focus the light from the light sources on the stalagmites that have holes in them to try and focus the light onto the holes?
If you want to, you can.
I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. You can try. Yeah. You can try anything.
Is there anything we can do with the quicksilver?
Put your crystal in it.
Does it expand the crystal?
Yeah.
Does it grow the crystals?
Something's got to make these crystals get bigger, but we don't have enough anyways. We've only got 6. Well, 5 now.
Maybe there's a
The other one go
order.
eyes. Oh.
There's 11 holes, so if you miss one, put one. Miss one, put one. Let's go kill more shaman and get more crystals.
Seems to be the way.
Side quest.
Should we try and have a chat with Bob's old mate, who's in the jungle?
Ah, my pussy.
Yes.
I'll ask my pussy about these holes.
He's an expert.
Jesus Christ.
So, the sound that's coming out of these stalagmites, if we put our fingers over some of the holes, does it change the sound coming out of them?
Subtly changes the music, but it's just a slight variation on the sounds, and at no point does it become unpleasant. It's just basically a sound on the breeze, like. And as you cover up the things, it kind of subtly changes. As you move them off, it goes back to that same monotonous sort of light melody.
And the holes in the wall, is there any sound from those or anything?
None whatsoever. Like I said, the natural flow of the cave, wind sort of comes across there pretty, sort of all funnels across there.
Is there
And when
anything...
Graham's...
Oh, go.
No. I was just gonna say when Graham stuck his spear in the hole, there was no reaction at all from.
There was sort of like a clunk as you sort of stabbed it in, like a dum.
That was just the the spear
hitting stone.
knocking against it. Okay. Yep.
Can I investigate just around the wall, on the floor, or anything for anything that might give us a bit more of a clue?
Graham's going to go get a mug of Quicksilver. He's going to try
Don't
a
break
pint
it.
of it.
Investigation 10. No, look, it's all. There's nothing really here. You notice there's rocks. It's a bare stone floor. The footprints. You're really loose. Nothing really that
Are
you can
the light sources movable?
they don't appear to be. No, they're sort of like within the sort of the pillars that you can see here. I picture them kind of a natural sort of hollow. There's just a glowing ember, not an ember, but like a glowing source. So if you were to put your hand in there, like you wouldn't be able to grab anything. It's just sort of a glowing light.
Graham's going back towards the entrance to try and get a pint of Quicksilver. While he's there, he also wants to have a close look at the cave paintings to see if there's any hints in the cave paintings as to what this might be.
Yeah. So
So,
you go back to the
Quite
cave
quick
painting.
silver, thanks.
Go back to the cave painting. You go back to the cave paintings, and like I said before, there's the one of the sort of one that tells the story of the person slaying the beast, saving the small being. There's the one of the emaciated, the starving people being fed, and there's the one of the cloaked figure protecting the villagers from the erupting volcano with a magical aura. But you scour them and you can't find any sort of hidden messages. You don't recognize anything that looks the same shape as that sort of tear-shaped thing. Nothing there that would indicate. They're just general acts of heroism that you've noticed. And sleight of hand with advantage because you've got a.
We put some
Get a-
berries in the holes.
You get a pretty good slosh. Pint glass through. Get a good scoop of Quicksilver.
Then he's going to... Was there a stalagmite that Iris dropped something into?
One of the ones, this one here, she sort of up and put one of the crystals in one of the holes.
It's going to dump half the pint of Quicksilver into the hole just to see if anything happens there.
Top's missing on this one. You pour it down the top, and you can sort of hear it sort of thickly. You sort of see it thickly pour down. You wait.
Nothing.
After about 30 seconds of waiting, you're like, okay, nothing's happening here.
Okay. Fuck it. Hand into the hole and Eldritch Blast. See if anything does anything.
Nope.
Into one of these sort of holes here.
Yeah. Yep.
Graham was just going to throw the rest of his pint of
So,
Quicksilver into one of those first.
prior to Graham doing that, Iris is doing this whilst Graham's getting the Quicksilver.
Okay.
Iris shoots an Eldritch Blast, gets real close, hand like this.
What?
And
Jesus, guys.
you get pushed back 5 feet as the blast sort of like it reverberates off of there. Nothing happens. You pour the Quicksilver, you sort of throw it on. It hits the wall, and it's quite a beautiful thing to see as it pulls around. A bit of it pulls in the hole, and it trickles down the wall, and it puddles down the bottom, and nothing happens.
Well, should we go eat some fish back at the shack?
I prefer
Some
crab.
roasted crab meat.
reckon-
Sounds good.
We
If
need
the
some brain
shaman reckon
food.
that knew what was happening, should we just try sticking the 4 crystals in a few random, maybe
Holes.
lucks on our side?
Sure.
Put one there, one there, one there.
Sure. I'll just start putting crystals in the holes.
Start depositing crystals in holes, and nothing happens.
I will recollect the crystals.
Rearrange a few times.
Rearrange them.
Bob's there. Put it in this one. Try this one. Try this one. Try
3,
this one.
5, 8, 10.
You start.
Wait,
Using
what was the
numbers
lost
from your-
numbers? 4,
Yeah.
8.
No, you start doing, Bob. You start recounting some of your some of your best seasons, like your RAs and your RBIs and your
Yeah, that was a good one.
Ks and stuff. K rates. I don't know baseball stats. Putting them in numbers, nothing happens.
I only had one walk that season, and that cunt knew what he did. I pinned him on purpose.
Yes, I know some of these words.
It's like pussy or hole or crevice or.
I have
fallen asleep here.
I have no idea.
Nor do I.
I think we need to go and have a look around somewhere else.
I'm trying to picture this in my head, and I'm not seeing anything that's giving itself away.
If we plant the crystals, maybe they'll grow bigger.
Well, I mean, crystals grow because they're, made from something, so that's why I'm thinking maybe they do get bigger if they're the right size. Or there's just other ones with these crystals somewhere else that are bigger.
I'll put one of the crystals in the quicksilver that went on that puddled on the ground where Graham splashed it. Anything happen to it?
Floats. Nothing happens to it.
Floats.
If we grab one of the pebbles and drop it in the quicksilver, does it float or sink?
Floats.
Just random rock. Okay.
Yeah. There's only like a little puddle there.
Yeah. But
It
you can
floats
tell it-
slash sits on the ground, but makes a cool like viscous of how it sits. It kind of looks like it's floating on top of it, but it does. It's not really.
doesn't obviously react in any way different to the crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hungry. You guys hungry?
Yeah, I could eat.
Yeah.
Too mysterious for
going.
you.
Leave mysterious cavern.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
So,
And you're going to go back to your camp?
I can't think of anything else to do.
Did you want to put the other guys you killed on the beach?
search for
holes.
bloodies, loot all the things that
Yeah,
are not
You
a
didn't,
kobold.
didn't really loot the other dudes that were there.
They
Well,
disappeared too.
Assuming they're still there.
I assumed that if we looted the shaman, we would have checked them as well.
Okay.
But
As you...
Oh. While
It was
Graham's
actually-
looting one of the corpses, I bring the arm from the guy off the cliff and say, "Need a hand?"
the only thing that's worth finding on these sort of guard guys that you slaughtered, one of them was wearing a similarly shaped crystal on just around his neck. A piece
God
of string.
damn it! God damn it! Well, I'll take that and I will add it to my collection.
That's what I'm getting at.
Just
If there's
before
going to
we-
be 11 of these little
as
ones.
you guys
Yeah.
walk out, the cave opening closes behind you.
No.
I was just going to say, before we leave, just,
Sure you were.
we noticed that the crystal floated in the
Yeah.
quicksilver. Can we just... How much quicksilver is needed to float that crystal back up and actually get it?
I was thinking the same thing, but I'm like, that's probably way too much.
No, I just pictured you put it in the puddle on the...
No,
No,
the
no,
other
the one
one.
I lost,
There's a,
the one I
there's a
put into
stream
the.
there. There's a stream
Oh.
of mercury there.
Yeah, but we have to...
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the difficulty is there's holes the whole length of that stellar. So you'd have to
How big's
pour
a
it in.
sprite?
To pour it in.
Alexa,
at a
get in the
rate
hole.
that exceeds-
And you manifest Alexa in the hole.
Oh, is the stalactite's got a hole, a stalagmite's got a hole
You could-
all the
you
way
could-
through, and
Good manifest.
so it can just float the thing out the bottom then.
How thick is the stalagmite? Might
You,
look.
you can manifest Alexa in there. I will say
Could,
it's a big
could Zom
stalactite
fit
down the
his
bottom.
trunk in there?
Alexa is now within the stalactite, looking through the hole. Yes.
At the crystal thing.
I'm
And then
sorry,
all of a
Sorry.
I
sudden,
didn't understand what you said.
the crystal
Wiggle
gets
you
pushed
out.
out of one of the large
Ah.
holes.
Thanks, babe.
Now playing Spice Girls.
Now, manifest here. And she's out. This is so handy. And then we get out. And then I come over here and I say, Alexa, fly up there. We've been trying to work out what's at the top of this fucking cliff. Go have a look. She says there's just loads and loads of trees that she can't even almost get through. Just like all those other places where we can't get through.
Ugh.
Invisible wall textures.
Alexa, input no clipping mode.
IDDQD.
Yep.
Alright. My brain no working.
You guys tried literally everything you could.
Or
So
that's
we should just leave.
Iris, give me a wisdom.
a wisdom. That is
Just
not.
a wisdom.
That is
Give
not.
me a wisdom.
That is not Iris's strong suit. Wisdom check. Iris is not the one for wisdom.
You walk out of the cave and you think to yourself, couldn't work that out today. Well,
We'll figure it out tomorrow.
and I think you guys going to head back to your camp and muse on things and
Yeah.
Easy
Yeah.
for me.
On the walk back to camp, Bob's gonna say to Iris, I spoke to my patron thing, the guy that gave me these powers, and he sounded like he was very busy and distracted when I spoke to him, but
No,
He made
don't get me started. Yeah.
he made a comment that he didn't understand that we could be there or here, like we're not supposed to be here wherever this is. Like we're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I kind of I got a not the same, but similar sort of message.
Maybe we're dead.
I miss home.
I should do 4 seasons of this before we realise that.
Graham's enjoying this. It's a break
Zom.
from the monastery.
Zom is as well. I intended to have an adventure. This is just such an adventure.
should we
Complex puzzle.
call it all
That
a night
reminds
there,
me.
guys, and see what
Yeah.
happens next?
As we're kind of sitting down for our crab meal, I'm like, hey guys, if we ever get back to Neverwinter, I'm trying to Well, before I left, I was trying to get some signatures. And basically, the Neverwinter government is trying to shut down the orphanage I'm funding. But they said they'd reconsider. It's like a council bylaw problem. You need signatures in order for. Are any of you guys, say, citizens of Neverwinter or any of the adjacent areas?
Yes.
Would you mind
Fine.
signing my petition to make sure that it does not get demolished?
Now
Yeah.
doesn't seem the time. Now doesn't seem the time.
Fine, Graham. I know where you stand on orphans. That's understandable. That's fine. Maybe another time.
Another time.
If I lived in Neverwinter, I would definitely sign it, but well, I'm not sure if they'll let me. We'll find out.
Where do you hail from, Zom?
I hail from far, far south. I can't remember my exact.
I don't think you've actually named the place.
I haven't given it a name.
That's odd because I've heard an elephant never forgets.
But the interesting thing is he is not an elephant, he is a loxodon.
Who said that? Yeah.
My inner monologue, apparently.
Oh, I come from far south. I could be made a temporary resident of Neverwinter for the purposes of signing your orphanage petition.
Iris gets very excited about it and is like, would you mind? I mean, I know it's not the most upfront thing, but they really don't check who. I don't think they really check
I
these
am
people.
sure we can work something out. I would be happy to do that, especially for you, Iris.
She puts a petition in front of you, basically saying it's like council bylaw 1502-34.
Right, you okay? You carry this on you.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of them.
You tipped out the ink, so to get the Quicksilver.
I did.
Hang on,
Signing
stab Graham
Quicksilver.
again.
Holy moly! Graham,
Tip the quill in, Graham.
Graham's bled dry.
You could
There's
sign
much
in.
to him.
He's only 3 foot tall.
I mean, she produces. She's like, yeah, I don't have any ink. She produces her dagger. I'm like, we could just take a teeny tiny bit for you to sign in blood.
She asked for his hand again. Graham, give me a hand.
hand.
Damn it, ruined my own personal quest line to get some Quicksilver and drop the
I
ink in
understand
there.
it's poor form to sign this sort of thing in blood.
I think on the contrary, it really emphasizes
reinforces.
your love of saving these orphans.
It counts as
Save the
two
children
votes.
in this blood scroll, no less.
It shows that the citizens are
Yeah,
really
bro.
concerned about the orphans.
UFC, unfortunate fighting children.
Please, oh please.
Look, I'll sign your petition, but I'm not going to sign it in blood.
Does anyone else have a pen?
Maybe we can catch a squid.
Yeah, it's like it's what I call these ink and quill. It's a pen. I'm trying to get it, official, but again, more paperwork. No. Okay.
Yes. Well, I'm happy to sign it. We can leave it at that for the moment, and when we get some ink or something else other than blood to
Here you go,
sign it, then
Bob
I'll
gives
certainly
Iris
be
a piece of
happy
the
to do so.
charcoal that he salvaged from the tree before. You can write with this.
Charcoal. I would be happy to write it in charcoal. I'll sign your petition in charcoal. No worries. Where's that petition again? Or have I still? Oh, I'm still holding it. Right.
I don't know if charcoal is actually going to work. That'd be like using a very dull crayon, wouldn't it?
Which then brushes off.
Then a
That's
stiff
fortunate.
breeze comes past and it all flows off.
Yeah. All right. We'll wait for a
So,
pen, Zom. We'll wait for a pen.
I do.
I know
need
your
to-
heart's in the right place.
Yes.
I just hope that the children can hold on until we get back there.
Don't make me forget.
That might be a possibility now.
Well, now we have to survive. We need to save
Find
the
a
children.
pen.
We have to survive.
And she puts her petition along with what looks like a bunch of others back in her book. Finishes eating her meal. I guess is that it? Are we
That's it,
doing
I guess.
anything else?
Guys, finish your dinner. Individual. It's a pretty quiet meal as you're all sort of trying to work out what the hell you missed in the cave. If you missed out anything at all, you searched the cave high and low. You scoured it. I don't think you missed too much in there. You had a pretty good search of it, and you're not sure what else you could have thought of, what else you could have seen.
Apart
Sort of
from
sitting
6
around.
other crystals.
Sitting around silently. I think I've said a few times, those crystals didn't fit overly well. You put them in, they didn't stand up, they sort of sat in the base. Didn't do anything in there.
We need to find something.
And you guys have a...
If we look through the
Presuming,
magnifying glass, the crystal will be big enough to fit.
Perspective.
Presuming...
Good.
Gonna have...
One more question. If no, you said the crystals didn't fit in the stalagmite holes, correct?
So the
They
holes
Fell into it.
fell into the stalagmite holes.
They
Found
fell
like
in.
a-
So
a
yeah, they're
decent-sized
still
one.
too big. They're still too big. Okay. So they do not fit in the stalagmite holes.
Well, you put one in and it sort of just fell straight down. There's sort of like
Yeah,
all different
yeah.
shapes and sizes of those holes, and you found one that you'd think, oh yeah, it would go in through there, and it went in through there, and it fell.
And it clearly didn't. Okay. So it did not fit.
Well, it fit through. It didn't fit in like as a plug.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It didn't fit as like a plug. Okay.
We all go to bed and we all level up.
All right. Well,
He said it.
um,
Said all right. We level up.
He said, okay.
Yay!
How many
Uh,
levels was
ASI
it?
increase. ASI increase.
guys have a long rest. There is no leveling up, but can one of you roll a d8?
Crab people.
Someone else's turn this
How
time.
many crab people?
Oh, no, Zom.
Crab people. Crab people.
So you guys,
Say see you guys, or so we.
See you guys.
Alright.
you guys wake up from you have your long rest. You'll get your effects from the long rest, and
Oh, nice.
your body is pulled out of its dreaming slumber. An overwhelming coolness takes over you, soothing on the areas of your body already burnt by the sun. As you open your eyes, you see a horizon obscured by thick mist. A moderate breeze is blowing in through the shelter, carrying with it a fine mist and rain, slowly soaking you. As you sort of sit up, prop yourself up a bit more, you can kind of see the jungle there. Looking to the jungle, damp and wet, and largely obscured in the mist, you think to yourself, if I was planning to ambush us, they would be the day.
Yeah, well.
But no one's going to ambush you guys. And
Fuck. Oh. Beg your pardon?
just you sort of sit up, and Emerald Singh is your closest there. You sort of stretching around. Yeah. There's a funny sound coming from that way, guys. Repetitive, sort of
Don't worry
banging.
about it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. There's a lot of weird things on this island.
I'm
Ignore
sure
it.
it's nothing, guys. Sure it is nothing. And with that, we'll call it a night.
Damn.
I'm knackered.
I'm ready for bed. Yeah. I'll meet you in bed, Phil.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's not how you get shut eye.
So you get good rest afterwards, though.
Yeah. These brain puzzles after a full day, just it's so fatiguing. I can't believe I did this to you guys for 3 years. Thankfully, my puzzles weren't as challenging, or unfortunately, my puzzles weren't as challenging.
I want to say something to you guys now that would just put you all out of your misery, but I'm not going to.
There's
Nah,
no-
nah.
Even
No.
saying that is
Yeah,
probably too much.
this
Yeah,
isn't a
I-
spoiler, but
Don't do it, Simon. Don't do it.
Like, not to spoil anything, but it's just hilarious watching you guys toil over something that doesn't matter.
I was literally sitting back just enjoying your head, your textbook harebrained schemes. It sure is a mysterious cave.
Spiritual
It's not
weapon
a
shovel
It's a big
all the
worm.
dirt into stalagmites.
Thursday work for all of you guys, by the way.
Thursday,
Yeah.
I think, should work. Yep.
All right this week.
Should do.
Yeah.
Maybe because the quicksilver is so dense, we can actually just wander across it.
Maybe.
It's not a non-Newtonian fluid, though.
I'm not going to spoil. Anything, but no, you can't do that.
That would be nice.
I'm
Done?
going to back off.
yep. All right. See
Have a
you
think,
guys.
guys. See what you think. See if you can work it.
Cannot work anything out.
Man, I need 2 more level up before I can get another invocation.
It's gonna be a while off. I'm sorry.
That's miles away.
Yeah.
I can only send my Alexa drone 100 feet until then. Can't scout out the
Yeah.
whole island.
Good news. You guys are getting close to the next chapter, though.
Oh, that means another level.
There's a door opens soon.
Ooh, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway.
All right.
We'll find out next week.
Maybe one of those holes are actually like for people to put their pegs in and then hang their hats on or some shit like that.
Maybe it's just like cup holders.
Or cup holders, yeah.
Just cup holders.
I wonder if we
Uh,
press on the wall, it's going to Bob. Get your cock out of that stalagmite.
They said it was an inch deep. I couldn't resist.